Hello everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Holland Land Office Museum's Artifact video series. My name is Ryan Duffy and I'm the director of the museum, and this week we're going to focus on two identical pieces, but very unique pieces that we have in our collection as they come from a building that no longer exists in Batavia, and that is the First Methodist Church that was located on East Main Street. Now the Methodist congregation has been in Batavia since almost the very beginning, but this was one of their places of worship, and one that probably a lot of people would recognize if they lived in Batavia for some time now. So we're going to talk about the history of the church, the congregation, and what these two pieces mean to that building. So there have been a Methodist congregation here in Batavia beginning back as far as 1809 or 1810, at the very first decade of the village of Batavia. And for its first few years in existence, the congregation would either meet in residents' homes or rent out some space in the courthouse. This would happen until around early 1820s, when Joseph Ellicott actually gave them $50 and a piece of property on the corner of West Main and Lion Street, North Lion Street today, and that was where they built their first congregation, their first physical church in 1824. Now they would stay there for about 13 years, and then would move on to another piece of property, this time on Ellicott Street, near the St. James Episcopal Church, and they finally broke ground there in 1841, and it was called St. John's Methodist Church. And they were in that spot until about 1866. They had made some improvements to that building, including a schoolhouse and a steeple. But in 1866, they moved out of that property and were again somewhat transient. They were on the third floor of one of the buildings downtown before eventually in 1869 purchasing a piece of property near the corner of Bank and East Main Street, near today's Go-Art, basically on the site of the YMCA. Now, the building would eventually be finished in 1869 as the First Methodist Episcopal Church, and that is where these two cornice brackets actually come from. These were collected by a couple residents when the building was torn down in 1971. So the church on East Main Street, the Methodist church there, lasted for just about 100 years and went through many changes, and they built on a schoolhouse building. It was built during a time of horse and wagon and eventually was upgraded to handle automobiles. But eventually the church was torn down in 1971, and around 1969 they'd actually purchased property out on Lewiston Road, Route 63, and that is where the congregation is today. Now these brackets would have hung under the roof line of the church main building, and I'll post a picture so you can see what the church looked like in its full glory. Now the building was located right next to the Batavia Club, which is the Go-Art building today. Now these brackets are pretty heavy. They're made out of solid wood. They were painted gray to match sort of the roof line color and to blend in, and these would be tucked up under the roof line. They were more decorative, but they were also meant for support. So we've got a pair here. The one right here, my right, your left, was donated some years ago, and we're very glad to have it. And the other one was donated this year, actually, by Jack Hume, whose mother actually went after the church was torn down. They were members of the parish and grabbed this piece so that it would survive. So these are two pieces left over from that building. I'm not sure how much else survived after its demolition, but we're happy to have these two pieces of local history and a reminder of some of our old grand church buildings here on Main Street. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of our Artifact video series and learned a little bit more about the Methodist Church here in Batavia and about the one specific building that was on East Main Street. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel, as it helps us out a little bit and gets you notified even quicker when we do release new videos. And be sure to check out the rest of the playlist, as we are approaching 200 videos for this playlist, so we're very excited about that. And give them a thumbs up if you like them. But as always, the best way to learn more about the artifacts that we feature in these videos is stop by the museum and see them for yourself. We're happy to give up-close and personal presentations if needed, and share even more information than what's in these short videos. And if you really do enjoy what we do here at the museum and enjoy the local history of Batavia and Genesee County, consider becoming a member, as it's the best way to support what we do here and allows us to do all the programs that we do, including these videos.